Whether a federal judge in Manhattan decides to make Sean Combs' holiday dreams come true and let him out of jail, or whether he keeps Diddy locked up tight for many months to come. You can't say he didn't think about it, right? Another day has come and gone with no decision on Sean Combs' fourth attempt at bail. But the defense is optimistic. How do we know this? Well, because just this morning, Team Diddy sent a security expert to eyeball the three-bedroom Upper East Side apartment where Diddy's team is proposing he should live under house arrest. That's right, they scouted it out. The defense says they'll install cameras and other surveillance measures, and guards will be in charge of Diddy's phone and will record all of his calls. They promise every single one. By the way, the defense says Sean Combs is presumed innocent and has the right to address negative pretrial publicity. Prosecutors say, not so fast. They say even from jail, Diddy has done everything in his power to harass and intimidate his adversaries and bolster his friends, along with his own image. They say that he's determined to taint the jury pool and obstruct justice. And they say the self-proclaimed bad boy for life has demonstrated a pattern of violence. We all remember that shocking video of Combs viciously beating his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway in 2016. But as far back as 1999, Combs was accused of beating a record producer with a champagne bottle, a telephone, and a chair, all over the use of footage in a music video. Later that year was the infamous Manhattan nightclub shooting where 2 people were wounded, and rapper Shine took the blame, despite witnesses pointing at Diddy. In 2015, let's go through this list. Combs was charged with assault with a deadly weapon after an altercation with a football coach at his son's university. That charge was later dropped. So, bail or no bail? That is the question, and it is really a close call, it seems. Or is this judge just dragging out the suspense? I'm joined now by 2 longtime friends of this program. Dave Aronberg is the state attorney for Palm Beach County in Florida. Mark Geragos, you know him. He is a renowned defense attorney and co-host of the Reasonable Doubt podcast. Thank you both for being here tonight. Dave, I want to start with you. You're here on set. Let's start with Diddy's pretrial communication. You know, there has been a lot of back and forth about limiting his statements. Is there a danger at all of violating his First Amendment rights? What's going on?
Good to be with you, Laura. You know, when you're a prisoner, you don't have the same First Amendment rights as the rest of us. You have a lot of rights that are curtailed. And by the way, it's great to be with you and Mark. I like how he's branding his podcast with a sweatshirt. Yep. Looking good, my friend. So they don't have the same expansive First Amendment rights that the rest of us do.
Right.
So you also have to take into account potential threats to outsiders. Normally, yes, you have the First Amendment right to contact anyone you want, but not when you're a defendant, not when you're being accused of tampering with witnesses. And that is going to be a big obstacle for him to overcome to get pretrial release.
Yeah, this has been a big contention in court. I was at the courthouse on Friday. Mark, first, can you fill us in on why you think the judge hasn't decided on bail? What is the inside story here? Because we've got these new court filings this week. Are you surprised at all to hear, you know, United States versus Trump cited in the argument? There's a long list of things going on here and obviously other things that are redacted.
I'm not surprised in the least because the defense filing, which I think was prepared by Alexandra Shapiro, who's probably the appellate lawyer, federal appellate lawyer around, she runs through kind of the cases that you've heard me argue many a time, Laura, which are basically the Shepard versus Maxwell, the Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada, and all of the other cases, and now the latest edition, which is Trump. And basically what it is when there's a First Amendment and Sixth Amendment kind of a intersection, you cannot just clamp down on the First Amendment. And by the way, one of the things that I've always complained about is the prosecution likes to come out and they like to announce, you know, we've got a RICO action or we've made this huge bust, whether it's Diddy or anybody else. And then they want to run and clamp down on the defense and say, you can't talk, you can't say this, you're trying to obstruct. Trump has been masterful in the way he's pushed back against this nonsense, and the courts now are starting to say, no, you can't go in there and just slam the defense and then hope that the defense is not going to be able to push back. In fact, my argument has always been it's malpractice per se for the defense lawyer to just sit by and let his prosecutor kind of slime his client. So I think that's one of the reasons that they have, it's taken a little time, because a lot of what they're claiming is obstruction is nothing more than a pushback against all of the nonsense that's been out there.
Dave, what do you think about that? And also, you know, the prosecution says that the jury could be tainted with all that's going on. Of course, we hear that when we're going into any big trial, right?
I don't think the jury really is going to be tainted by Diddy's posts. Also, when you're looking for a jury, you're not looking for a jury that's an empty vessel, a blank slate. They can know about the case. They can read the post. They just have to say that they will remain objective and just follow the evidence and the law. And that's all. That's why you can get a jury in any case.
Right.
But I do think the government has a point that Diddy has proven previously that he has attempted to contact witnesses. He's tried to obstruct witnesses before. He's used a banned app behind bars. He's used another inmate's phone to try to get his message out.
And the three-way calls.
And the three-way calls. So, you know, he's been through this before. It's not like a first-time offender here. You know, he has a rap sheet, so to speak.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.